It is semi-finals and finals time for ARX2 and ARX. Of course, the guys from ARX2 finished a round yesterday, but they've got to finish their second round today. And ARX, Bucky, we're looking forward to seeing who's going to win the first Supercar round this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't pick. I don't know who's going to go. I want to put Arpin in there.
Yeah,
I want
after
to put
that
Arpin in
Q4
there.
performance, he was amazing.
But I think it's going to be a shootout between a Volkswagen and a Subaru.
Who would be behind the wheel of those two?
Probably a young man by the name of Tanner Faust. And
who can be your wingman anytime.
Yeah, he'll be my wingman anytime. And
if you missed that show earlier, sorry. Yeah.
Some guy with a really fast last name.
Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at the ex-Andretti Volkswagen teammates basically going up against each other. They're going to be in separate semi-finals, but we're hoping that they're going to be on the front row of the final together. But you'll have to stay with us to find out. So we've got ARX2 semis, and wow, they were pretty harsh yesterday. So if you've missed qualifying, we've got Q4 at least for you to take a look at. Let's have a look at this. So this was Steve Arpin, and Bucky, great start by him, but it was really about the lap times, wasn't it? He was absolutely nailing it.
He got a little tap there. From Cabot, but controlled it. Here we go, Cabot on the inside of McCoy.
And we didn't see what happened on the last lap, did we? But we know that there was another change position and that potentially there was a bit of contact in there for that.
Yeah, there were some panels being broken for sure. You got McCoy coming in a little too hot on the tires there.
That was Arpin taking the flag. Yeah, tidily done. Fastest time of the weekend for Arpin at that point. Faust, you know what, was creeping just before the green. He lost the start here. 3 Subarus in one race. First time we've seen that. And somehow he went from P3 to P1. And then he had to get the job done. So this was what we wanted to see, Bucky. It was a straight fight between Speed and Faust, basically for the TQ spot.
Yeah.
Speed jokered early. Faust waited till the last lap.
Yep, Faust put that Top Gun move there in turn 1. And ran away with a clean Joker lap and came out on top.
Beautiful car control through the Joker there, super committed, and in fact coming in deep from the tarmac like that allowed him to be on the gas early, didn't he? And he had great exit speed, so he coming out in front of Speed, and he was very, very pleased indeed. But it takes a lot of discipline to do what he did up in turn 1, you know, to brake as early as he did. When everyone's going up to turn 1 like that, you're like, oh, you know, I want to go in deep. And of course, all the Subaru guys went in deep, and Faust braked early. Perfect.
Yeah, all he did was brake early, tuck in, and he had the line for turn 2.
He did indeed. Job done, Tanner Faust. Have a look at this. This is how qualifying ended. So after Q4, Tanner Faust had won 2 sessions. Scott Speed had won 2. They did that last year with the events, 2 wins apiece. Faust takes 16 championship points for the first TQ of the year. Scott Speed P2. Then it's Atco up in 3rd. Great job by him. No damage on that Subaru this weekend, unlike his 2 teammates. Steve Arpin in 4th. Picoy, Sandell and Bigham. Odds go to semi-final 1, evens go to semi-final 2. So we know they're all going to make it in semi-final 2. That's great news for Speed and Co. But of course it is down to what row they are on. And Tanner Faust made it very clear earlier today, the only spot he is interested in is pole. And being the TQ man, being in semi-final 1, assuming he wins that semi-final, he will be on pole in the final. Decent crowd. We were expecting there was a bit of potential for rain and possibly even thunderstorms. You can see the spotters have gathered already up in the spotters tower. They've got a roof. Me and Bucky don't have a roof, so if it rains, it could go quiet.
Yeah, we're going to be broadcasting from your rental car.
We are. We've got an umbrella, but that's about as good as we've got. So, of course, ARX2 is coming up before ARX, so take a look at their standings after qualifying. Fraser McConnell took the TQ spot, so he gets 16 points from Cole Keats. Then it's Sage Karam, Hildebrand, Alex Keys, Gray Ledbetter and Brad DeBerti. McConnell goes to semi-1, where he will meet Sage Karam on the front row. And those 2 guys didn't get on so well in yesterday's semi-final. There were some words said at the end of the day, mostly between the teams, I think. People appealing decisions from stewards and so on. McConnell has let the driving do the talking, winning 2 out of 3. But Sage Karam was incredibly fast in the 3rd one. McConnell saving his tyres. Cole Keats and Hildebrand on the front row in semi-final number 2. And Gray Ledbetter will be making it through to the final from semi-2. That's great for her. 14-year-old girl taking part in this. Brilliant driving from her. She's got better and better all through the weekend. Looking forward to seeing what she can do in the final. So, yeah, the calm before the storm, Bucky. We've seen the finals for ARX3, support category. Look at that. That's what pickup trucks are for, isn't it?
That is a beauty right there.
Well, that's for watching Rallycross.
That is Absolutely correct. Look at them. I think they're watching. They got their live timing and live time feed going right there. Little Subaru to the left.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think they might be Subaru fans. They brought the grandstand along on their pickup truck, and Subaru parked in the background. Fraser McConnell and Sage Karam on the front row there. I don't imagine a huge amount was said. I don't think there's any malice between them at all, Bucky. They both just want to win, and I want to see good racing. I want to see people go at it. They went at it yesterday. You know, I think it's clear Fraser just locked his wheels. Sage, you know, felt he'd been fired off. I think Fraser would have said differently, and they say the stewards gave him a 5-second penalty. Sage cut the track. They told him to give the position back, but he took it back off him anyway. I mean, it was complicated.
It was complicated, and I think it's going to be just as complicated this heat race, because I don't feel like these guys are going to give each other room.
No, definitely not.
And
scores to settle, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to establish that that top rank right here.
Sage Karam saying yesterday that he would like to continue and do a bit more of ARX 2 if he can. We're hoping for that. We've got a few drivers who are talking about coming to join the grid.
Well, he's fast, I know that.
My goodness me. Very fast.
How much faster was he?
Nearly 4 seconds in Q4.
A second a lap.
Yeah. Although Fraser made a very fair point, which was he said, look, I don't want to push a tyre off a rim or risk damage. He knew he had the TQ because he'd won Q1 and Q2. You know, he knew the gravel sections of the track. You know, they'd taken quite a beating from all these all-wheel drive cars all weekend. And he was just playing it safe. So he's not going to be able to play it safe. A great start's going to be crucial. And that's actually something that Sage was saying last night in the press conference. He didn't feel he'd necessarily had great starts. But Fraser has had brilliant starts all weekend. This is going to be the start which is most important. That's what RVs are for. Still a few people with some big sound systems and barbecues and so on. There is the other end of the scale. As me and Bucky drove my car underneath the commentary box so we can hide from a thunderstorm if we need to this morning, there were some people sleeping in the back of station wagons and things. Like, it's the total opposite end of the scale from an RV, but it was really nice to see how many people have come and stayed. Like, there's quite a scene for that in European Rallycross where people come for the weekend and they stay and they camp and they have a few beers. You know, it's an event. It's not just going to watch motorsports. It's a weekend away.
Yeah, totally.
Great stuff. Well, we've got the semi-finals for ARX 2 coming up, so stay with us.
I'm here with J.R. Hildebrand, an IndyCar driver, and obviously your first weekend here, an actual Rallycross race. I know you've done a lot of testing, but this is the first wheel-to-wheel experience you've had in these cars. What have you taken away from it so far? What have you found most exciting?
Well, I mean, I feel like this has kind of been our testing. You know, we had a little bit of running in the wet on, you know, in a parking lot before we got out here, but it's been a lot of fun, man. It's fun to have to come out here and, you know, you have to come out here and learn a bunch of new stuff. So that's exciting. The race formats are totally different than anything that we're used to, and you know, trying to kind of you can't help but come in as a competitor. You know, like we want to beat all these guys, obviously, but you know, it's fun just to do something different, and this definitely qualifies, so it's been fun.
No, it's great to have guys like you from different series, so thank you so much and good luck out there.
Thanks, man.
J.R. Hildebrand doing a good job and has increased. I think it's fair to say that Sage Karam, who came from a similar background, was in really quickly, but J.R. Hildebrand has learnt the skills over the last couple of days and he's bang on the pace today as well. Here we go then, the first of our semi-finals for Sunday. Fraser McConnell on the front row with Sage Karam. We know what happened yesterday in their semi-final. I'm hoping they keep it clean, but I want to see a good, hard race as well. And then it's Alex Keys, who won yesterday, and Brad DeBerti, who was on the podium. This is a strong semi.
So I do hear that Brad has some issues with his car.
Yeah, we said, didn't we? He was off the pace compared to how he was. Yesterday he was on the podium. You know, he got better in every session. But yeah, let's see how he gets away from the line. And of course, importantly, how Fraser and Sage get away on row one. Great start, Fraser McConnell again. He's going to get to turn 1 first. Sage Karam is going to want to beat him, so I think this is going to come down to Joker's strategy. I reckon. In the back!
Opens the door on him.
We're talking about opening the door in turn 1. That is literally opening the door in turn 1. Alex Keys with a bit of contact there, and the door popped wide open. So Alex Keys, yesterday's winner. In fact, he won the last 2 rounds of ARX 2018, and Alex Keys won round 1 here. He says he normally has a terrible start to the championship. That's not a great start to his semi-final. You can see the hood is completely bent in. The door is hanging open. So McConnell leads from Sage Karam, and this Brad DeBerti, Bucky, we were thinking, we'd heard that possibly he had a problem with his engine, and DeBerti at the minute is hanging in there. DeBerti's having a look. So can't find a way past Keys, that can't even reach the door to try and close it. So Alex Keys' door is flapping open. How much of a distraction is that?
That is a huge distraction. He is driving the doors off that car, though, literally and figuratively.
You can rely on Bucky for the good one-liners, man. He is driving the doors off.
He might lose it here. I think he might lose it if it stays out there.
Now, just saying, if DeBerti went up the inside and the door was open, then the door would be off, wouldn't it, basically?
It would be off.
If we're going into a left-hander and he leaves the door open and the door open, there's going to be all sorts of things going on.
It's going to be awesome.
McConnell leading Karam. So Karam can go through here if he wants and just take a row 2 start for the final. But I think he would like to be on the front row, wouldn't he? Because, he wants to beat everybody, not just Fraser. These guys are keen to win. Look at the bumps down in that braking zone too.
And it's not going to get any better.
It is
so
not.
Are they going to drive around these bumps, or are they just going to send it over the bumps?
I think they're going to have to go through them, aren't they? But it's a case of managing. And I think DeBerti may have a problem now. So Brad DeBerti's dropped off the back of the pack in front of, you can see in the background now, I noticed on that last shot down the hill that was a little way off. So he's taken his Joker lap, which would account for a good couple of seconds of that. Yeah, to be fair, maybe it's just that. We've been talking about doors hanging off, literally. So yeah. McConnell leading, and it's now Sage Karam. Does he go Joker? He does. So Sage Karam's making a move now on lap 3 out of 6, Bucky. If you're new to Rallycross, 6 lap semi-finals and finals. 1 lap has to be that Joker. Karam's given himself 3 laps now to try and find an edge on Fraser, but I would have thought he would have been closer if he had more pace than him.
Yeah, he created room for himself. Sage created some room. Here's Keys.
He doesn't look like he's got a massive pace advantage, though, does he, over Fraser?
Not
I think
what
he
I'm seeing that he had before.
No,
so
not
was
like
that track
Q4.
condition, or was that?
I guess Fraser's now taking risks, isn't he? He's willing to risk it for the position in the grid. Sage Karam around the left. Got some of his regular sponsors on board, and I think he's kind of hoping they might stay with him for the rest of the season. So Fraser, interestingly, is not defending by going Joker straight away, and again, I kind of thought he might, Bucky, but he's doing a Tanner here. He's confident he's got the pace. He's staying out.
What are the times? Well,
52.9.
Fraser is on pace. Nothing is crazy. It's all within
52.6 he did, yeah. He's done 2 laps under a 53. He did a 52.9 and a 52.6. Of course, we've seen Sage on the Joker was a 54.2, so we need to keep an eye on what Fraser's Joker is. But he won't care what the time is, Bucky. He's just going to want to pop out of that Joker and find Sage Karam in his mirrors, not in his headlights.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to see. You want to see a mirror full of Sage, and not a tail light and dust in your face. That's for sure.
Definitely not. Fraser, what was the lap time that time? So Sage Karam was 2/10 quicker that time round, so he goes. So this is a response. The spotters have spotted it. Sage has gone 2/10 quicker on the last lap. McConnell needs to bang in an absolutely perfect Joker lap here if he wants to be on the front row. Oh, it's going to be close between them. Sage is right underneath him. So Sage has gained time there through those 4 laps from lap 1 on. I thought McConnell had gapped him just a little bit, and Sage has caught up in those last couple of laps. So this is going to be a great fight now.
We've got 1 lap to battle.
I don't think Sage will do anything stupid. I think he'll aim for the final, and hope that when there's 6 cars into 1, that there might be a bit of carnage in turn 1, and then you really race for it. It's clear, though, that he's got the pace, Bucky, to race at the front of Rallycross.
Let's see if we can spot some different style of driving here.
DeBerti is still out there, so despite his issues, it sounds like his engine's still running okay from where we're standing. Fraser and Karam just half a second apart, 1,000th off a half second. Look. 0.499, and it's actually went up now to 6/10.
It's definitely easier to be the faster guy following someone because you can use their braking points, and you can actually time them and see where they're slower.
Yeah, because you get a visual reference point, don't you? As I'm quicker here. What you just see it, don't you?
Sage looks a little cleaner and tighter, but he's not really gaining anything.
Fraser McConnell goes defensive on the run down the hill, but he's going to need to go defensive again in one more race because he's going through to the front row of the final. Fraser McConnell takes semi-final number 1. Sage Karam is right behind him, looking forward to a fight between those two. And over the line with his door wide open goes Alex Keys, who won round 1 yesterday. So Alex Keys, the championship leader, booking a slot in the final as well. Brad DeBerti unfortunately misses out today at a podium yesterday. I think it's a good first weekend for DeBerti, and hopefully we'll see him again. So McConnell then 6 championship points for the win. Sage Karam 5 for P2, 4 points for Alex Keys. Brad DeBerti gets 3 points, but he won't make the final here. Well, we can take a look back at the start. It was pretty clean. Yeah, look McConnell again with a perfect start, Bucky.
I don't know what they figured out, but they've had this figured out for a while. That's where Keys lost his door right there. He kind of got into the back of...
See it here again. Oh, in fact, the door was open when he hit the brakes, wasn't it? So I don't think the door was shut properly. The door was shut by Karam in front of him, you know, but the door was open. Yeah, that's a good effort, to be fair. Then there's not really any damage there, is there? You know, they'll manage to get the door hooked up in time for the final, and that's literally just a front. It's like a clamshell hood and fenders on the front, which will come off and go straight back on again. So they'll just be able to replace the front end. Whether or not Keys has got any damage to the suspension, we don't know. But McConnell and Karam going through to the front row and row 2. Great stuff by them. I think that fight will continue. So a good fight, a clean fight
from some of the fastest guys we've seen so far.
Wonder if anyone, you know, in theory, people could be saving tyres. They're on a limited number of Cooper tyres per weekend, so they can't just keep throwing rubber at it. Maybe they're thinking, I'm going to try and save the rubber for the final, but it should be a good fight.
Well, I know a lot of these guys are running different tyre pressures as well, as low as 20, like mid-20s up into like high 30s. So depending on that may or break you when you hit one of these potholes and pop the tyre off the rim.
James is down with Fraser McConnell now. Let's go and hear from him.
Fraz, you and Sage can't seem to stay away from each other.
Yeah, no, I mean, we really focused on the start, and then we were in first after the first corner and never looked behind us again.
That was a clean race. I know you could feel probably the pressure behind you a little bit. He caught up a little at the end there, but you seemed to hold the gap there pretty well.
Yeah, I know my spotter is always telling me the gaps, and it doesn't really worry me. I know we're fast, and now it's full focus onto the final.
Anything to do on the car before you head to the final?
Just refuel, really.
Great. Well, good luck, Fraz.
Oh wow! Well, Bucky, this is.
Look at that beautiful husky.
The other dude's not so interested, is he?
He looks like he's got.
Oh, hello! Hang on a minute. I'm on the big screen. He says
he's got a little rod in him.
How many dogs have we? How many dogs have we seen this week? And what's the dog count? I think the dog cam is up to about.
Years? Is it dog years count?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it is. We've seen about 7 dogs times 7, which is a dog year. Is it 7 years or not? I don't know. We've seen a lot of dogs.
Yeah, we've seen like.
Me and Bucky, both big fans. So there's some clearing up being done. Apparently, I think Alex Keys came back with his door intact. I can see some lights in the distance right up on the top of the hill there. They've got a safety car which is going around the outside of the Joker lap from the looks of things from the commentary position. There's a couple of the guys in the background there. Look, that's Chris there, isn't it? I think Chris seems to have decamered Bucky. I think we will have to have a word with him later on. He looked like he was having a nice time and not working.
I don't know.
Yeah. We'll soon put a stop to that, won't we?
We'll have to talk to the higher ups about this.
Yeah. Well, we've done it. That's it. It's been mentioned. Loads of the RVs in here. It's a big thing out in the States, bringing your RV for the weekend. I've seen people with inflatable sofas, sound machines. Great stuff, you know, some serious sound systems.
Mid-Ohio fans know how to do it right.
Yeah, barbecues and everything. Look at this. All sitting in the pickups, watching. Just gives you that little bit of elevation to see over the Armco. Everyone with their chairs as well. They were here early doors yesterday. Right. A few of them will be upstanding shortly. We've got another semi-final coming up. Here we go then, semi-final 2 for ARX2, round 2. 3 cars in this one, Cole Keats, JR Hildebrand on row 1. And on row 2 is Gray Ledbetter. So these guys know they're safe. This is for grid position, and Bucky Tanner's made it quite clear how important he feels the pole is. But if you're not on pole, then you definitely want to be on row 1, don't you? You need to be up there. So this is still an important race for them. Hildebrand versus Keats on the front row. Long old hold. And in fact, Gray Ledbetter got away really well on row 2 there, almost up the inside of J.R. Hildebrand, but Hildebrand will be able to close the door on the run into turn 1. Cole Keats gets the whole shot, but hits a hole. And then around through,
it's almost a
the
jump
bumps.
now.
Yeah, Hildebrand's right up behind him. So now it now comes down to whether or not Hildebrand takes an early joker, Bucky, and tries to overlap Keats.
I would.
Yeah.
I think he's going to find himself getting kind of slowed up.
Well, the trouble is if he comes out behind Gray, of course, and he feels that Gray isn't as quick as him, then he could be held up. But to be fair, Gray at the minute is absolutely flying. That section there just looks like the hardest part for the ARX2 cars, it has to be said.
These cars are spec cars. They don't have the suspension travel that the supercars have. They don't have all the bells and whistles. Everyone is in the same exact car. The only thing you can do is change setup.
Yeah, it's crucial to get that right, and of course you need a good spotter behind you as well. These guys are a part of a program this year, a mentorship program, so they've all been paired up with one of the supercar drivers. I think that's cool, Bucky. It's a way for them to get access to the guys that, I think would be superstars in most people's eyes, but also to take some feedback from them about what they're doing. Take a bit of time at the meeting, maybe walk the track with them and get a few hints. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, a lot of the older teams used to have a couple of these RX cars underneath in their same hauler. They would kind of as hired cars.
Yeah.
Because I know Ericsson, he had supercars and he ran the RX2 cars here.
Yeah, sure. So it's very much a ladder of opportunity in terms of you do RX2, learn the sport a bit. It does. It teaches. I think it teaches a very disciplined style of driving ARX2 because it's such a. You have to be so tidy to make them go really fast.
And then you get into the supercar, and it's like a flag holding onto the flagpole.
That much faster.
Yeah, that much faster, I'm sure.
Ledbetter is going brilliantly here. So Gray Ledbetter holding on to the back of J.R. Hildebrand. Fantastic performance by her. Cole Keats has managed to gap him just a little bit. He's 2.8 out in front. Onto the dirt section again, around the long off-camber right-hander.
Notice not a lot of attitude in the cars, trying not to beat those Cooper tires on the big holes.
Yeah, you've got to keep the wheels straight.
Got to keep it as straight as possible.
Certainly as well, the transition sometimes from one surface to the other you have to watch out for too, don't you? But
yeah, these cars are heavy, so they will roll that tire off.
Gray Ledbetter is catching up to Hildebrand here. She's piling the pressure on, so this is fantastic. Hildebrand is losing a bit of time here to Gray Ledbetter.
Oh, he was 1 second. He was a 1.3 off the lead. And now he's 5.5 off the lead, and Ledbetter is all over him. So maybe he's having somewhat of an issue.
I must be honest, I'm thinking the same thing, and not because Gray isn't fast enough, but because JR has been getting quicker and quicker. JR goes joker lap, Keats has gone 2.
Yeah, he's losing a second a lap, so he could be having engine problems.
So that's a bit of a shame. Hildebrand potentially is going to go through to... Well, of course, he has got a little gap. He could head back to the paddock, and they could see about getting the car fixed up. But we are talking the 2 ARX semi-finals is it, and then he's got to be back out. Cole Keats got another couple of laps to go, but has jokered already. So now it's about when Gray Ledbetter jokers compared to Hildebrand. I'm listening to Hildebrand's car. I can't hear anything too off with it, Bucky, as they come past us.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, though. I mean, these cars are spec cars, so if one's falling off, misfiring a little bit, you're going to notice, and that looks to be the problem, with 1 second a lap being the difference here as he falls off. Oh, look at Keats sending it.
He's done that a lot, though, where he's rotated the car mid-corner and then come up a bit close on the exit, Bucky. We've seen him do it in turn 2.
Really risky.
Yeah. Oh, you guarantee the turn-in, don't you? Which is nice from a driving point of view. You always want to guarantee. There's nothing worse than turning in and having a big push, thinking, oh, man, you want to guarantee the turn-in to a point. but then if it costs you on the exit, if you've over-rotated, you have to correct and get out of the gas. Gray Ledbetter has gapped Hildebrand by 3.5, so I think Hildebrand maybe with a little issue. They'll have some time to try and fix that. Ledbetter is at this point with a decent joker who's going to go through onto row 2. Keats miles out in front. Watch for Ledbetter in the background because she's going to go joker this time round.
Keats took it a little easier that time.
Here she goes, Gray Ledbetter backing it in over the crest, has to straighten out, knocks it down a cog into the inside, but she's clearly in front of Hildebrand. Where is Hildebrand? There he is. J.R. Hildebrand definitely has a problem now because he's hemorrhaging time on this last lap. He'll try and drag it round to the finish and then see if he can get the car out for the final, but no such problems for Cole Keats. Cole Keats is going to go through to the front row alongside Fraser McConnell, crosses the line to win semi-2. Nicely done by Keats. Gray Ledbetter about to cross the line. Here she is. Great result, goes through to row 2 as well. And then just crossing the line in the background there, you can see J.R. Hildebrand will be through to row 3. So it's Keats, Ledbetter and Hildebrand. Row 1, row 2 and row 3 versus McConnell, Karam and Keys on row 1, row 2 and row 3. Strong lineup for the final. Potentially Hildebrand with an issue though. That's the result, Keats, Ledbetter and J.R. Hildebrand. Those guys rolling back to the paddock, and we are waiting for a certain group of supercars to roll up to the line. Big applause from the fans for the drivers as the cars come by, and a few of them have spotted themselves on big screens as well.
I think the weather's going to hold up for us today, Andrew.
It's actually quite hot, isn't it? It's been really muggy, really close last night, and we were hearing rumours of thunderstorms. And if a thunderstorm comes within 10 miles of the venue, we have to evacuate. So hopefully we're not going to get that until after we're done racing.
Here's a start where Keats just walked away from it, just from the beginning. Learning the track, finding the bumps. I'm sure all the spotters were in these guys' ears, letting them know that there's something coming up.
Yeah, they've watched the previous semi-final, won't they, the spotters, and we'll go, look, you need to watch the braking zone down at the back of the track. Yeah, turn 1's been watered, that kind of thing. They give them as much information as they think they can take in. Some drivers don't like too much, do they, Bucky? And some guys have push, and loads of information about gaps, and others, it really is joker. That's it.
Yeah, I really think that any information that they're going to give me, I'm going to accept it, you know, and some things are going to stick a little bit more than others, and some not so much.
So that is the semi-finals for ARX 2 done. We're going to be having the ARX semi-finals coming up next. Then, of course, the final for ARX 2 for their round 2 and the final for ARX. James Rimmer has managed to get hold of the winner of semi-final number 2, Cole Keats.
Cole, great smooth drive. You said it's getting rough out there. Is it the dirt's just getting really rutted out there, huh?
Yeah, we just knew we needed to get a good start. That was easier semifinal, but the dirt's getting rough out there. I mean, there's so many holes, and I mean, you look at yesterday, I got a puncture from that, so that's what I'm trying to prevent today. I know we're a fast car, so we got to bring the fight to Fraser, but Driver Run Bulls gave me a great car, and hopefully end up on top in the final.
Yeah, front row in the final grid, that must feel good.
Yeah, thankfully on the front row instead in the middle of all the chaos, so hopefully get a good start, take the whole shot, and hopefully we can just lead this thing wire to wire.
Great. Good luck, Cole.
Semi-final time for the supercars of ARX round 1 from mid-Ohio. This is the lineup for semi-final number 1. Tanner Faust, the TQ man, Chris Atkinson alongside him. And then on row 2, we've got Travis Pecoy and Cabot Bigham, the two new guys in the supercar class. Looking forward to this. Tanner has been on great form. He took the TQ by the tiniest of margins from Scott Speed with a great run in Q4. Of course, Speed will be on pole in semi-final 2. Speed's teammate Atkinson has shown good pace all weekend. He's had no damage on that car. Both Sandell and Speed had a retirement yesterday. So Atkinson has been the most consistent of the Subarus and ended up in P3. Can he find that extra bit of pace to beat Faust? Here we go. Thumbs up from the marshal. Look for the green light. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Oh, good start on the back row, Peacoy, but a brilliant start by Atkinson. Faust maybe going to get squeezed out on the run down into the first corner, gets into the door of Atkinson. Atkinson sideways, going to get on the bar, turn it back the other way. Faust looking up the inside, Peacoy into the side of Bigham. Bigham runs wide in the dirt. It's Atco that's got the whole shot.
What a beautiful start by Atco. He was able to get out there. He got a little boost push from Pecoy, I believe. It actually set him up for turn 2 quite nicely.
Bigham goes Joker on that one, so Faust's teammate has gone Joker, immediately backs the Beetle in over the crest. Down then over the jump, Atkinson ahead of Faust. Faust needs to get ahead here, Bucky. He said very clearly at the end of Q4, I have to be on pole on the inside in the final. And if he doesn't win this, he's going to be on road 2. So Faust now's got to find a tactic to try and catch up. I'm impressed with Peacoy in the background as well. Travis Peacoy's going with these guys, but Bigham, of course, is going to try and close them down and catch them out. If these guys battle it out, Bigham could maybe get past. Atkinson through that bump in turn 1. Faust all over him now. Faust is caught up in 3 turns there. Tidy driving.
He's able to watch Atco, and if Atco's driving one way, Faust is going to pick to drive the other.
So Faust with a great drive through there. Is not going to go Joker on this lap. I'm kind of surprised. Peacoy does go Joker. Faust is now faster than Atkinson. Rotates the Beetle early, look. He's going to be up underneath Atco. If Atco doesn't go on the next lap, I'm convinced Tanner will.
Tanner definitely will next lap, but I feel like Atco's going to go as well. Just to
try and mess up the strategy.
Yeah, just try to mess up the strategy and stay ahead of Faust.
Oh,
and not
Faust
even give him the opportunity.
Dropped one wheel onto the grass on the run down the hill. Super close. Atkinson wide with the rear end, but doing a nice job. He's been quick all weekend. He's been on the pace in terms of lap times. Into the right in turn 1. Faust backs it in a little bit more. Going to flick it back the other way. Now he's going to have to get a couple of super quick laps in if he wants to get the overlap. Has to wait there. That time bail on the exit is just out on the line, isn't it?
He's being a little too over aggressive. He's almost clipping the tires and he's having the lift. There's Faust into the Joker.
So Faust has gone Joker. This is to cover off Peacoy behind. Peacoy went Joker the lap before. Tanner wants to get out in front of the youngster. Going to be close in on the inside. He does it. So Faust now, Bucky, this has got to be perfect. This is for pole in the final.
Yes, Faust has to reel in Atco right now. He's got 3 laps to do it and no really disadvantage in front of him. He's got clear air.
But if you're Subaru, you could send Atco this lap, couldn't you? And for me, that's what I would do, because they will know that Faust is going to hunt him down, so they're going to want to send him.
Well, hopefully someone's looking at times, because right now Faust is 0.5 a lap faster. At the least. Oh, he was way faster last lap. I don't think Chris is going to be able to hold Faust off.
Well, let's see. Chris Atkinson may well go Joker this time to protect the position. Watch for him peeling off to the left. He's going to lean hard on the car. Does he straighten out to go gravel? Or does he go Joker? He goes Joker. Atkinson responds. Subaru spotters have sent Chris Atkinson around the outside. Tanner Faust going to come up on the inside. Atco's last lap looks like it was a good one. Is it going to be enough? It is. Atkinson clearly in front of Faust. And Atkinson is going to go through to the front row.
Atkinson put in his fastest lap on that lap prior to taking the Joker.
Fantastic, 49.8. Great stuff. So Atkinson has gapped Faust, and Faust is now under pressure from Peacoy behind, so this hasn't gone Tanner's way. You know, he caught up with Atco, didn't he, on lap 2, and then lap 3 seemed to drop away again.
Peacoy is really showing his speed, and he's all in Faust's mirrors, and it can't be easy to drive with all that dirt in your screen.
Faust again close to that bail on the inside of turn 2. Peacoy's having a look but can't see a way through at the moment. They both Jokers. If he wants to pass him and go a row up in the standings, he's going to have a go here. I think Faust has got an issue, Bucky, because to me he's under a lot of pressure. Peacoy's leaning on him. Peacoy's going to go through. Beautiful. Great move. That's a great move. You can hear a big crowd cheer up at the far end of the course. That was a great move by Peacoy, leaning on the inside of Faust, running him wide. Faust going to flick it inside. Faust looking for a repass at the bottom of the hill.
No one's better than Faust under braking.
He's going to have a look as Peacoy goes defensive. Faust, look at that. It's a great example from Bucky of just how good Faust is on the brakes. That was incredible.
That was incredible. If he was a little closer, he would have had to go.
So Tanner Faust has gone from dreaming of pole position to hoping he's going to hold on now and pick up the back row. Bigham is far enough back that I don't think it's going to be an issue. He wants row 2. Faust up the inside, clips the tyre bail. Contact with Peacoy. Faust passes back. Great stuff from these guys.
Beautiful move by Faust. Aggressive, but beautiful.
So Faust has gone back past. Peacoy's going to have another look surely on the gravel. This time Faust goes defensive on the brakes. Going to keep it in tight. And look, he doesn't drift the car at all. Before he drifted it in, Bucky, and that opened the door for Peacoy to get up the inside.
Yeah, I think if Tanner calmed down, which seems like he did this lap, he wouldn't overdrive. And I think if Tanner didn't overdrive, Peacoy wouldn't even be in his mirror.
Atkinson coming down towards the bottom of the hill. He's been with Subaru for a number of years. He used to race with them, of course, in WRC, and he's going to take his first ever America's Rallycross semi-final win. Atkinson books a front row slot. Faust drops to row 2. Peacoy's going to go row 3, and this weekend it's Bigham who doesn't make the final. Great drive, Chris Atko. Brilliant start to get away in front of Tanner Faust. It's a great job by him, and he will be on the front row in the final. Here's the result of semi-final 1. Chris Atkinson takes it from Tanner Faust and Travis Peacoy. Cabot Bigham down in P4. Well, take a look back at some of the action from that in a moment. Atkinson, though, will be really pleased. Bucky, that was a fantastic drive, and the crowd have enjoyed that too. We saw the passing between Faust and Peacoy as well.
Yes. There's some of the best racing I've seen all weekend.
Great stuff. Looking forward to the final. 6 supercars going to be sent up to turn 1 together. Here we go then. This was the start from Atkinson. Just hooked it up. We know
Watch
the Beetle
Peacoy.
starts brilliantly.
Watch Peacoy in
yeah.
the back here. It gives him like a little push and actually rotates the car perfectly for Atko. Just to get on the gas.
Yeah, Faust was patient there, wasn't he? Hoping that something was going to happen. Here we go. Yeah, you're right. Peacoy just nudges in the rear, doesn't he? And makes him deep. But Atkinson with great car control into turn 2 there. So good tactics from Bigham to go early doors. I don't think we've seen the best from Cabot Bigham this weekend. But Faust, on lap 2, Bucky, caught right back up like this. And then he just seemed to drop away.
See how he had to lift? He rotated the car too much into that Cooper tire barrel, and he had to lift and get back on it, which cost him quite a bit, actually.
So this was Faust lifting a wheel coming off the Joker lap. Peacoy behind him, and Peacoy was closing in. So Faust then ran the car pretty deep and sideways in the Joker. Sorry, the standard lap inside the Joker. You can see Peacoy gets a lot. That was great. Peacoy leaning on like that. That will have annoyed Faust. And Faust then is like, right, okay, you can have some of that back. And he got up underneath him in turn 2, which I'm pretty sure we're going to see. So look at this. Faust goes for the undercut, but can't get on the throttle quite early enough to get the outbraking. Actually had to avoid, didn't he, running into the back of Peacoy. You can see that from the alternative camera angle. And then here's the next pass. He gets a flick up the inside on the exit here. Peacoy over the bump, gets a little push on, and Faust is up the inside. Yeah, fair enough, I think. You know,
Beautiful move.
Great job, Tanner holding on to P2, but the best job was Atko. He's going to be on the front row in the final.
Atko, obviously winning in these colors is nothing new to you, but it must feel good. After all that time in those colors, you're back here and you're winning again in this car.
It's awesome, and new colors, faster car, semi-wins, that's unreal.
It looks like a really clean run. You just kept your head about yourself, and was there any strategy other than that going in?
No, we haven't been playing around with the car. It's been good straight out of the box, and we've been caught in bad spots in the qualies, in people's dust, so I'd never panicked too much. I knew we had great car speed. We got clean air. We got to pull away from Tanner. That's cool.
Great. Well, good luck in the final.
Well, great stuff from Atkinson winning semi-final number 1. We've got a car out on course as well. We've got a car with some flashing lights out on the course. They're just repositioning some of the tyre barriers, it looks like, up where Faust and Peacoy made that pass. So, Bucky, good stuff. They were leaning on each other, weren't they, door to door, Faust and Peacoy. I think both moves were with
leaning
contact
on
on the
each other,
side.
being very racy. No officials. Don't bring the officials into this.
No, I think it was cool. I'm looking at the timing screen. There's nothing. We get a warning on there pretty quickly if people aren't happy with things. So we're hearing there's a bit of a 3-minute delay. Well, it's not. If it's a bit of a 3-minute delay, it's actually a 3-minute delay, and that's just me not being very good. So there's a bit of a 3-minute delay. It's a new phrase. So yeah, they're going to reposition the tyres up there, and we've got some safety cars up as well on the standard lap. Yeah, good racing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was amazing racing, and from the rookie in the Supercar, Pecoy, bringing it to the veteran, Tanner Faust.
Both him and Bigham have done well this weekend, I think. I mean, Cabot Bigham's driven a Supercar for a season before, went back to ARX 2 last year, now back up to Supercar again. He'd be disappointed not to make the final.
Yeah, totally disappointing, but I believe he's in, so...
Well, so...
let's...
We've got... I've just been asked, have I ever tried baseball by my producer? There are the lads. It's even like the fence, isn't it, around the pitching area? Come on then, lads. Where's the bat? Well, it's just a bit of catch. That's fine. It's all good. So yeah, Cabot Bigham is the guy who misses out. Yeah, and the next one we've got two of the Subarus, Speed and Sandell, and we got Steve Arpin. So those guys guaranteed to make it. And Speed is going to know, isn't he? He's going to know very well indeed what's happened to Tanner. There's some of the Subaru guys, interesting, with their cans on. So, Bucky, those guys are on
there,
top.
the guy without the hat on, he's the head engineer there. He's the one that's doing all the design, body, and suspension.
He will be very pleased with his winter's work.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Subaru have spent some. There we go. So this is how you do clear up after a rallycross race. There's I've got a great picture which I'm going to put online later of a bumper in a bin, which is rallycross, isn't it? Basically, we saw out the back of the Subaru pit area, doors and bumpers and things stacked up from Speed's crash yesterday. Cooper Tire girls are waiting down there, ready to head up to the podium after the racing. It is windy. It's properly windy again. I'm just looking around to see if there's any chance of rain, but I think we're going to be okay. So they were saying 3 p.m. for thunderstorms, but at the minute we're all good.
Everyone's waiting patiently,
including us, who you can see there in our little commentary position, top right of your picture. That's
now
us in the tower at the far end.
They won't water the course because they don't want the heat previously to have an advantage over this heat.
Yeah, it would be very different conditions, wouldn't it? Right, here we go. I think we're almost ready to get going. Waiting for the last of the course cars to be clear, and then I think we are good to go. Time for semi-final number 2 from mid-Ohio. On the front row, Scott Speed and Steve Arpin. On row 2, it's Patrick Sandell. So 3 cars definitely making it through to the final, but this is about what row you're on. We've already seen Atkinson steal the front row from Faust. Speed has more points from qualifying, so Speed wins this, he will take the pole and Atkinson will be on the outside. That's how this works. So look for the green, here we go. Well, good start by all 3 drivers. Arpin's alongside Speed in the run up to turn 1. Sandell's going to be underneath, potentially shut the door on Arpin. Arpin's out in the dirt. Sandell going to try and go around the outside in turn 2. Arpin keeps it tidy. Speed through that bump. That bump in turn 1 now is big. Arpin makes it through. Speed, though, holds on for the whole shot. Now he's got to hold on for 6 laps.
Are we going to see Arpin peel off into the Joker? Probably not.
It's interesting. Sandell with a late choice, Bucky.
Yeah, very late choice, but I think he felt like he was a little too close to Arpin. He probably didn't want to deal with the dust, so he gave himself some room to work with.
You could see the way he changed direction, couldn't you, when he loaded? When we say late choice, that you can see from the attitude of the car the way he's loaded the steering late.
Yeah, these guys, I love the attitudes of this car in particular, all these cars. See them brake really hard and see the nose dive down. I mean, that's a thing of beauty. It's a beautiful thing.
Scott Speed doing a great job, isn't he, with his brand new team. If he hadn't had that DNF yesterday after contact, they do. This is partly about managing tyres, isn't it, too? Look at that.
Tie rods.
Yeah, exactly. It's going sideways. You can deal with the bumps in a straight line, Bucky, but you can't go sideways with them, can you?
You
Why?
have that wheel crank turn sideways, and you catch one of those potholes, it's going to rip the tie rod right out of the joint.
Arpin around the outside trying to protect his line from Sandell, and he gets it done. So Arpin fires in at a hell of a speed off the standard lap. So now Arpin's got a few laps to try and catch up to Speed. I wonder if they'll send Scott Speed into the Joker early to defend, or whether they think he can gap him. I suspect Scott would stay out, but from a safety point of view, you might send him early.
Right now, Arpin's 2.2 off of him. Let's see if we can follow along for a lap and see if Speed loses time, gains time.
Interesting to see what the spotters do here. Through again that section, you can see somebody's wheel arch liner lying in the road there. That's how high up the wheels are being pushed through the bump in turn 1 now. Speed through the long right. He's going to switch direction to the left now. Look and see if he straightens the car or holds the line. He holds the line. Speed's responded to Arpin. So they think Arpin's quick. Arpin, though, has lost 2/10 in that last sector. So the gap has gone up from 2.5 to 2.7. Steve now is wide in the dirt as well, and he's lost time trying desperately to catch up, but still driving very well, but not quite matching up to Speed. Scott Speed would love to take a debut win for Subaru, wouldn't he, Bucky? There's no question about that. He's one of the most competitive guys I've ever met.
And look how good that car looks. Got to give it up to the Subaru crew, working all night.
Yeah, that's a good point. They were up till midnight, 1 a.m. last night, fixing the car after basically the whole rear end was torn out in this corner after contact. And now he's taking a straight line through there, isn't he? So now he's not in the battle to hold position. He's being much more careful through the first corner.
How long do you think your insurance company would take to fix that car that Scott damaged yesterday?
With that amount of damage, I think you'd be looking at a month. And what was it, 8 hours probably if it went through till midnight? Maybe 9 or 10 hours. It was a lot of work, to be fair, wasn't it? We were quite surprised at how much, when we saw the car damaged, I think we both thought, is it a bit fragile? And then when we saw the replay, we realised.
It was a big hit. Sandwich pinched just in front of both rear wheels, which ripped them out.
Yeah.
It's pretty aggressive.
It certainly was. Certainly was. Speed will have had a fair bit of input, I think, as well in the handling development of this car. Bucky, you know, he's come from Volkswagen. We know their record. You know, he's won the title numerous times with them. First time ARX champion last year. The new championship starting here in the States, and Speed making the move to Subaru. You know, he must take with him some in-depth knowledge.
I think besides driver mod, he definitely brought some input to the Subaru Motorsports team. As you can see, the car definitely looks more nimble.
You mentioned earlier today about the fact that the bumpers are super lightweight because the overhangs on the car are big. You know, it's a big car to be using for this, so they're making either end of the car as lightweight as possible.
I know when I was driving for Subaru, they had this material. It was like a carbon mixed with like a plastic. It was very, very strong, and you could bump, you could rub, and nothing would happen to the fenders. But yet they were very heavy, and they got away from that. Now they're almost using like paper thin carbon fiber, dry carbon, super light, flexible, state-of-the-art stuff.
I have to say, I wasn't too keen on the noise from Speed's car just for a second there, but I think it was just anti-lag on overrun. When we did that rear camera shot, you could hear it growling away. You know, I thought there was an issue at first, but I don't think there is now. Speed coming down towards the jump. You can see the middle section of that front bumper is kind of missing. You can see just how much he's running along the floor. They're running super low ride heights. Here we go then, Scott Speed coming down to the last couple of corners in the Subaru. He will know that Tanner Faust has been demoted down to row 2 thanks to losing semi-final 1 to his teammate Atkinson. It's going to be an all Subaru front row. Scott Speed takes semi-final number 2. P2 goes to Steve Arpin, and Patrick Sandell is right behind.
These guys
on
are
his way back,
They're going flat out over this track. I don't even think I would drive. I mean, I would, but my rental car over this thing.
Here's the result of semi-final number 2. Scott Speed takes it. Steve Arpin is second, and Patrick Sandell in third. Speed rolling back to the paddock. Now, these guys don't have as long to re-prep. Remember, semi-final number 2 means they've only got basically the ARX 2 final in which to turn those cars around. The crowd are loving that. But the crew have got some work to do to make those cars tip-top in time for the final, which will be coming up soon. So off the line, look, Scott Speed got it hooked right up. Arpin then, really you kind of knew Sandell was never going to run at the back of his teammate, was he?
No, he's just going to tuck in, and here Arpin stayed in it, stayed right beside him. Look at the bumps just upsetting the car, but these supercars have the suspension to take it. So the drivers are giving it to the track.
There was that late decision from Sandell to go Joker. This was Speed on lap 2 with still huge push. You can see the attitude through. They're just opening up the steering angle a little bit through that big rut. Super wet conditions here for the track build, so the circuit done a good job keeping it in top shape for these guys to race on. Just starting to see signs now of what a supercar can do to a track. You know, 600 horsepower and all-wheel drive. And look what Scott Speed did to the track. Knocked the timing sheets out of the park. 5:07.6. He's actually a second slower than his teammate Atkinson was.
Great win for you there. Obviously, you're going to go back and turn around quick for the final, so we'll keep it short and sweet. What's the track looking like out there for the supercars? Looks really rutted up.
Yeah, the track's getting super rutted. We got a really big hit in the back, so it kind of ruined our exhaust, so we have to fix that. We got a big issue. But we should be P1 in the final for the start, so it's a great shot from there. I believe it's a Subaru front row. That's right.
Thank you so much. Go back and get that fixed.
Well, Scott Speed then needing to head back. We said, didn't we, there was a slight exhaust
You
note.
mentioned that you notice a different sound note coming from Speed's car.
And I think the hit was turn 1, so I thought initially that when he went through the rut, that was what had lifted the rear of the car. But I actually think he's hit the rut, and then I think Arpin has hit the back of him, which is what's lifted the car up. So, bit of damage to the Subaru's exhaust. It's actually pretty cool of Scott to stop, because a lot of the time in the World Championship, if somebody in Semi 2's got damage, they're like, no TV, back to the paddock and get the car fixed up. So
I think that was Happy Scott stopping.
yeah, it was Happy Scott. Happy Scott on pole in the final. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he will be on pole. Atkinson alongside him. He's going to have Faust right behind him. Sandell is going to be in there too. So all three of the Subarus have made it. Both the Fords as well. And just Faust in the Beetle. Should be good. Well, you can see the cars for ARX 2 in the pre-grid in the background. I think that guy might be a Ford fan on the left there. We saw some Subaru fans this morning. A few guys.
Saving my seat.
Oh, there's a Subaru guy, look, front left. 2 races left. Looking forward to this one, I have to say. Fraser McConnell rolling up to his grid slot. There we go. These guys having a great time. Keats alongside him. Going to be Sage Karam in behind. Gray Ledbetter going through to row 2. I wonder if they managed to fix the issue on Hildebrand's car, because we know he had a problem. Dropping a fair bit of time, wasn't he, on the last 3 laps, I think, of his semi.
Yeah, almost same pace as Brad, and he was having car issues.
Yeah.
So these guys might have a race within themselves. Actually, Brad's not even in this one. Is
Yeah,
he?
Brad, of course, yeah. Brad's the guy that hasn't made it today.
Yep.
Podium yesterday, though. Good start if he decides, hopefully he's going to carry on with the whole series.
The highs and lows of Rallycross.
Yeah.
One day it's podium, the next day it's nodium.
Early bath. Earlium.
Nodium.
Nodium.
Yeah.
Nodium. Yes, Bucky. Podium, Nodium. Last 2 cars coming up to the grid. And then we'll be good to go.
Cars are all looking fresh and clean.
Looking forward to a 6-car race. Marshals are about to go, and then we will be good to go as well. Round 2 of ARX 2 then about to come to a close. Here is the grid for the final. Fraser McConnell on pole with Cole Keats next to him on row 1. Row 2, we've got Sage Karam and Gray Ledbetter. And on row 3, JR Hildebrand and Alex Keys, the winner yesterday. Keys will be looking for a way from the outside. We know that's tough, but with 6 cars, anything can happen. Keats will be looking to out-drag McConnell down towards turn 1. Karam will be looking for a gap you can see through.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Here we go, good luck to them all. Green light coming up. Good start, McConnell and Karam, not by Keats though. Keats going to lose that, but Karam's up the inside already. Alex Keys comes around the outside. J.R. Hildebrand, I reckon, has still got the issues off the back of the pack. Keys trying to go around the outside. Oh, Keats is sideways. Inside Karam, over that hole as well. Karam runs a bit deep. Gray Ledbetter going up the inside. Where's she going to come out? Into 4th place.
Wow, Gray is being aggressive. She's in the 4th place.
Nicely done, wasn't it, through there, taking advantage of everybody, a bit of carnage in turn 1. Sage Karam was right up there and has ended up far enough back that he's decided to go Joker immediately. Sage Karam going to try and take places on the Joker. Can't do it, he's going to come back out in the dust at the back of the pack. So out front, it's Fraser McConnell leading from Cole Keats. And yesterday's winner, Alex Keys, from the back row.
From the back row.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that happen. He came up on the inside there. We got a little clip of the tires there. Is that JR?
Hildebrand, I think. Yeah, JR Hildebrand clipping the tyres. I thought he had a problem off the start, but then actually seems to be okay now he's going. So unless it was clutch, you know, it's hard to tell. McConnell leading, hoping that he can get the job done today. Look how careful he is through that bump in turn 1. They're keeping the wheel straight through there.
Hildebrand is caught up to Gray.
It's finding a way through though, isn't it? So Sage Karam in behind Gray Ledbetter. Gray leaning the car over hard through the long left there, the long right, sorry. He's going to try and stick it up the inside. I think he's going to make a pass here.
He's got it.
Brave move from Karam, but he gets it. That's a great move from Sage Karam. Just lined it up, kept it straight, pushes Gray wide. Super fair, super good move. Sage Karam on the move.
That is very good move by Sage.
Oh, okay, there's a mistake there. Alex Keys and Cole Keats, maybe contact between them. Keats is out wide in the dirt. Is he stuck? Has he broken the car? Cole Keats is at the side of the track. I think he's retired. There was a mistake from both of them. So McConnell out front. Keys holding on to P2, but we saw people cutting the track as well, Bucky. So, you know, not quite sure what happened there from the stewards. And Sage Karam is now right up in the midst of it, isn't he? He's going to be closing down on these guys. So Sage Karam was joking, remember.
And he's caught the pack.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fraser McConnell now, if I was his team, I'd be looking to send him to an early joker because of the issues people are having. That, you know, the track is rough. You want to make sure that you can take your time and close the door behind. At the minute, every time that Fraser is being careful in a braking zone or careful in turn one, he's giving time away to Karam, who's going, I'm risking it, I'm going to send it.
Risking it is, and that's what you have to do in the final. You have to put it all on the line. It's podium or nodium.
Podium or nodium. Bucky Lassett coming up with another classic for the 2019 season. That's going to be going on. Keys is under pressure from Karam now. Ledbetter has got Hildebrand behind, and Hildebrand has taken the joke already. Fraser McConnell going to come through this rutted first section. Got to keep the wheels straight, and there he does. Keeps the wheels straight through that section. Sage Karam, look, is pushing hard. Bucky, they've got to send him, surely.
Well, Sage is only 1 second behind Keys.
So he's 3.1 off the back.
He was in the back, and he's taken the joker already.
I'm really, really surprised they haven't sent Fraser. It's not like he can't get the super quick laps in because of the waves yellow. That, of course, is for...
It's going to put him in, though. If he would have did the joker...
Sorry, there's a wave yellow, Bucky, there, and they've made a pass. So that may get them in trouble as well, mightn't it?
It could, but I don't even... I feel that if he would have went through the joker, he would have came out right into these two with the timing.
You think he hasn't got enough time?
I think he's not got enough time. Now he's there. I believe now he's there.
So 2.7 was the gap. What's it going to be now, though? Watch the top of your screens. 2.8. He's got 2.8. So Bucky's right. He's gained a tenth. So they've kept him out there in the hopes he can do it. This time, surely Fraser will go. I don't think he'll wait for lap 6, but let's see. Fraser McConnell up at the top of the circuit. You're looking at P2, Sage Karam. He made a pass, though, on Keys under a wave yellow down past the jump, so we'll have to see what happens there. McConnell goes joker. Here we go. This is for the merge, maybe for the win. McConnell going to come out just in front of Sage Karam. Nicely done by Fraser McConnell. Sage Karam is underneath him. Behind him, we've got just 1 lap to go. Cole Keats' car parked at the side of the road. I was surprised they didn't send him earlier, Bucky, but, you know, you called it. He wanted to gap him a bit before he went.
Just a bit more, and he did. He put like 3 more tenths on him, and that 3 tenths would have put him right next to him if he didn't wait.
Sensible tactics then from Fraser McConnell. Great driving too. He said in the earlier on today, look, I don't really feel the pressure when someone's behind me. It doesn't really worry me.
I guarantee a spotter was in Fraser's ear saying, we need more of a gap. Don't risk it all. Risk it all. Don't hold anything back. We need to gap Sage.
Just go on this 1 lap. So McConnell coming through onto the dirt hairpin up at the top. Sage Karam is going to come through behind him. Karam got P2 yesterday. He's hoping for 1 better today. I'll tell you what, he'd be very happy with 2 P2s. Could see Sage Karam leading the championship standings. And he was only going to come here for a 1-off. McConnell, opposite lock through the braking zone, down towards the bottom of the hills. Jamaican flag proudly displayed on the front. Unfortunately, yesterday he had to park it. Today, great job. Takes the TQ. 1 is semi-final, and Fraser McConnell is going to come through to win round 2 of the ARX 2 Series 2019. P2 goes to Sage Karam again. P3, Alex Keys, who won yesterday. And in fact, you could see parked at the side of the road was Gray Ledbetter. Not even sure if Fraser knows yet. He's just sending it.
Yeah,
and he spins the car into a donut. He's really happy. Yes, nicely done. Traffic donuts. Fraser McConnell, good lad. Takes the win. He promised one yesterday, but it didn't work out today. He has got the job done. It's Fraser McConnell who wins round 2 of ARX 2. Sage Karam taking another P2 right behind him. Alex Keys got 3rd. J.R. Hildebrand, and then DNFs for Ledbetter and Keats. So we're seeing on the timing screens that Keats and Keys are under investigation for contact. That was where Keats retired earlier on, but Fraser McConnell
Had a
very
Solberg
happy with
move
the
there.
win. Yeah, Solberg style.
Yeah.
Solberg style hanging out the side of the door. Just don't fall out the side of the door. I think Pez has done that once before as well. I'm sure he told me that.
I wouldn't do that in Key's car.
No, not with that door. There he is, waving to the crowd. Great job, Fraser McConnell. Good recovery from yesterday. Hard to pick yourself up from when you haven't had the result you thought you could get. He's got the job done today. McConnell proving he's got the speed here, and he'll be heading straight to Norway after this to do the next round of RX2. Brilliant performance from the Jamaican. So another look at the start. Keats just got away terribly badly. Karam straight up the inside of him, and then Bucky through this first corner. Everyone just went, I'm going to risk it.
Yeah, everyone went for it. This was the craziest turn one bump, and everyone was just going for it. The wheels were turned. They weren't driving over straight. They were sending it over it.
Great Ledbetter with a great move there.
you
Well, she
see
was
that?
really early on the throttle and carried the momentum through the exit. Karen went joker early. There's a couple of little incidents in this one. Okay, we're seeing on the timing screen, so there's no further action between Alex Keys and Cole Keats, so that's good news. There was a waved yellow for one of the passes, but I suspect it was off to the side of the track, and Keats' car was at a standstill, so maybe they're going to let that slide. But this was that brilliant move there, wasn't it, from Karam up the inside. There was a little bit of contact down the bottom of the hill. That was what was under investigation. No further action for that.
I want to see what happened to Sage. I mean, not Sage,
One of the others.
yeah, one of the others.
Down at the bottom of the hill.
Gray. I want to
Jeez,
see what
Dominic.
happened to Gray.
Yeah, Gray Ledbetter just pulled it over to the side of the road. We didn't see, did we? Maybe it was a mechanical. Bottom of the hill, isn't it? You can get the car down there. You possibly can't get it back up again. But no problems for Fraser McConnell. Comes out in front of Sage Karam. A good, clean race between those two. Great result for Fraser with the win. And a fantastic result for Sage with another P2.
Fraz, I'm going to let you do all the talking. Just tell me what you're feeling right now.
No, I mean, first Rallycross win. I mean, my feelings are through the roof right now. Yesterday was not what we expected, not what we wanted, not what we came here to do, but we slept on it last night. The guys did all they could to give me the best package they could. And this is what I do before I do it for you guys. Love this country. Big up everybody. Big up all the fans. Big up everyone. Love you.
Thank you so much. You must be so proud. Back to you guys.
Fraser McConnell absolutely over the moon to take his first Rallycross victory. Of course, that was why he was so disappointed yesterday. Thought he was going to get it then. He got it today instead. Sends a big up home to Jamaica. And we know the fans will be watching and cheering for him there. And that's going to give him huge confidence heading back to the World Championship next weekend. So those are the championship standings. In fact, Fraser McConnell does lead. It's even between P2 and P3. Alex Keys and Sage Karam look just 3 points behind him. Cole Keats on 42. Then it's J.R. Hildebrand, Brad DeBerti and Gray Ledbetter. Great stuff. He's
awesome.
totally stoked. He's got the flag with him. I'll do it for you guys. Big up. Love Fraser. Good guy, isn't he?
Yeah, great mentality. You know, he let his driving do the talking.
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
got the job done. Yeah, that's a good point. There was a lot of distractions yesterday. You know, it was a good race between him and Karam, and I have to say as well, great respect shown by those two today. Because when you're feeling a bit like, oh man, I think I didn't get a good deal yesterday. Actually, they both showed each other respect in the semi-final and the final. Two pros.
Yeah, it wasn't like he showed him a lot of bumper or anything. He really didn't have a chance because McConnell kind of checked out.
Yeah, McConnell did a great job. So Fraser McConnell, congratulations on the first Rallycross win. Big up, Jamaica. Nicely done. Right, we've got one race left to come, of course. We've got the final of ARX Supercars coming up. I'm going to have a little look over my shoulder, and I can see some pretty frantic re-prep going on just on the pre-grid. James has actually managed to grab Travis Pecoy, so let's go down and see James on the pre-grid now.
Travis, I think you really impressed a lot of people in that semifinal. Tell us a little bit about that. You had some great passes, some really clean driving. How did that feel?
Yeah, well, after Q4, we went over and looked at data, saw where I needed to improve, and I'm glad I was able to go out there and do exactly what we planned on doing. And it turned out we had really good speed, and I was right on pace on Tanner, and made a pass, but he got me back, so it doesn't really matter, does it? But I'm stoked, so I'm glad we got the car to put this thing on top. And, yeah, I'm just ready to race now.
That last corner pass, I mean, that must have felt so good.
Yeah, like, they all asked me, they were like, you know, how did you feel in the car after you passed it? And, like, I could say, you know, whatever, it's just another car, but that was Tanner Faust. I'm pretty stoked on that.
Well, awesome. Well, good luck with the rest of the race. Right here, I see Patrick over here. His car is actually up in the air on jacks. Let's hope we can get him before he gets back in the car. We might just have time for a quick question. Patrick, just one quick question. What's going on with your car here? It's up in the air.
So the track was really rough on the last outing on the semi, so we decided last minute change to race it a bit, try to avoid those really big hits, and also we were not going as low on tire pressure as before because we don't want to beat the tire, so I think that would be the strategy for the final. I'm in the back row though, so I just have to kind of capitalize on others' mistakes in the first two corners, and then hopefully there's a clear pass to P1 in turn 3, and I take it from there.
Great. Well, you've heard it from everyone that the course is getting really rough. Back to you, Andrew and Bucky.
Interesting there that Sandell has basically chosen to compromise on the ideal speed setup. Yeah, so Bucky, to explain, going up in ride height and up in tyre pressures will do what?
Well, going up in ride height will better adapt the car to handle the situation that it's being dealt with right now with the track. The potholes are massive, so when you're in the back, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So he's going to raise his car. It's going to affect his joker lap. It's going to affect some of the tarmac, maybe some of the turn in. But those guys are cranking away right now, raising the car, and they're going to probably do some adjustments, just to kind of set it up so it moves straight. We got Tanner here. Looks like he's good to go. Everything on his car looks to buff out.
You can see, can't you, where he's been rubbing the tyre stacks, Bucky? That's Cooper Blue, basically, isn't it, across the front? So he's actually been rubbing the branding across the tyre bales, which shows you where the margins are. You've got to be absolutely super close in. So we'll work on Atkinson's car as well. So this is to the front lip of the bumper, unless they're doing something with the sump guard underneath there. It doesn't look to me like they're changing the ride height on that. I guess Atkin on the front row is saying, I'm not going to compromise the setup. I want ultimate lap times. If something happens because of the bumps, I'll deal with it. I want the win.
True.
Sandell's, look, they've got a lot of work going on there. So
Picoy looks happy.
Yeah, he was chuffed, wasn't he? Really happy with the move on Tanner. I love the fact he's like, I've got Tanner Faust. Like, that's cool, isn't it?
Put the pass on the Faust man.
Yeah. Listen to that. Scott Speed, the America's Rallycross champion 2018, looking for a win. Tanner Faust got the TQ spot, but lost out in his semi-final, meaning he's going to start on row 2. Tanner made it clear how important that front row start was. He's not got it. There are 3 Subarus in this. I don't expect to see any team tactics. We're not expecting, we're not expecting anything dirty, but having 3 cars gives you way more options because you can talk to each other. Right, who's going to joker early? You do a deal. Who wins the start? This happens, don't you, Bucky?
Their spotters are right next to each other, so the communication is there in the tower. All they do is relay it down to the driver, saying, okay, well, let this guy through, tuck in there.
You could joker early, get your teammate to move out the way for you. You could not joker and hold up somebody. That's perfectly legit. That's not. There's nothing dodgy about that, is there? You can hold your line. Bit of tape on the front left fender there for Sandell.
How's that sticker suiting you right there? That ARX Sandell crooked sticker. Is that
see now when I looked at the car, it's actually level with the ground.
Okay.
So I think they've gone level with the ground.
It is level with the ground, so you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We had an issue yesterday with some Cooper Tires decals, didn't we, on one of the RX2 cars, and I was not happy. One was higher than the other. It was not cool for me, but, that I'm happy with. I'm loving the Subaru livery.
They must have put those Cooper Tire stickers on when the car was on jack stands.
One up and one down. This level looks good to me. Looks good to me.
I mean, that's what I heard.
Speed and Atkinson on the front row, all Subaru. Look at that. Here comes Faust. Listen for the launch. Faust rolling up towards the P3 spot.
I bet you in Faust's mind right now, there's not 2 cars. There's not 2 blue cars in front of him.
Last of the cars pulling up. Looks Sandell's going to be in there as well. really looking forward to this, Bucky. You know,
Yeah,
6
I'm
cars.
anticipating.
You kind of get that nervous feeling, don't you? Almost as if you're in it yourself. It's been a long weekend, and you kind of invest a lot of emotion in the commentary.
I'm watching right now. I'm like looking over there.
Yeah,
the cars are staged
here.
over
The
there.
start is literally here. It's great. We've got such a fantastic. Well, it's a fantastic commentary position now. It isn't raining. Now we're loving it. But like if it was raining.
Good job, guys.
Yeah,
killed it.
Thank you very much. No rain. And we can see the last of the cars coming up towards the grid. Sandell with a big send into his slot. Going to roll that Subaru up. Is he going to have to reverse from there? I think he's just about going to get up into position. Here we go then. We've got just one race left to go. It's the first final for ARX 2019. There are 6 cars on the grid. Let's see the lineup. Scott Speed on the pole with his teammate Chris Atkinson next to him. It's an all Subaru front row. Row 2, it's Tanner Faust and Steve Arpin. And on row 3, Travis Pecoy and Patrick Sandell. Tension rising. The revs are about to be rising as well. Look for the marshal to give the thumbs up. Making eye contact with each of the drivers. Here we go. Points to each one. Then they're going to point to the lights. The drivers won't need it. They won't even be looking. They'll be focused on the lights already. Only one thing matters. That's getting a brilliant start. Here we go. Great start, Tanner Faust, row 2, but Atkinson's got away better than Speed. Atkinson going to try and go round in Peacock out the inside. Arpin goes round the outside. Speed runs his teammate wide. Faust's in the midst of all the dust there. Atkinson P2, contact. Arpin cuts the course. Atkinson spun around. Tanner Faust out in the dirt. He's gone down to P5 as Faust got an issue with the Beetle. He pulls off to the side. He's just about back on the track. Speed leads from Arpin, but Arpin cut the course, Bucky.
He did cut the course, and he rejoined it ahead of where he cut it. So I definitely think he's going to have to give some places back.
Well, so Arpin, there was carnage in turn 1. In some ways, some of it's unavoidable. When you rejoin, you can't just take the places, can you?
No, you cannot. And Faust drove right through Atkinson.
So Faust may be in for a bit of an inquiry from the stewards as well. Arpin certainly cutting the course. Where's Faust at the back of the pack, or has he gone? We can't see Tanner Faust. So Tanner Faust is on a go slow. I can see, has he taken Joker? No, he hasn't. So Tanner's got a problem. Oh, Pecoy into the back of his teammate Arpin. So Pecoy is all over the back of Arpin.
Pick it up. Pick it up, boss. Come on.
Oh, he wants him to push, doesn't he? Through the bumps now. Pecoy's looking really good. We heard he changed some settings, didn't we? Looked at the data and he knew what he needed to do to improve. My goodness me, he's really improved. He's hustling his teammate.
He is. He might have to take the Joker because his boss is holding him up.
Arpin's gone defensive. Speed's gone Joker. Scott Speed's gone early Joker. Scott Speed has gone Joker right now and brings himself out in front of the whole pack. He's got 4 laps to go, but that is an interesting move, a great move to guarantee the win. He had such a big gap, Bucky. He's able to go on lap 2. Arpin here might have to have a word with Pecoy. He was saying earlier what a brilliant driver is. He's now under pressure from him.
Good on him, though. He pumped him up. He said he was the driver. Come and sponsor this guy.
Absolutely.
He is all over his tailpipe.
So if you're from the Lowenbro Racing team now, you've got to be thinking, haven't you, about getting Arpin out of the way or potentially sending Pecoy. But I guess if they send Pecoy, they're worried about what's happening in the background. You've got a Subaru battle going on between Sandell, who's raised the ride height. You can see Faust in the background. He's still running. The car doesn't look to be slow. Looking at Faust's lap times, I think Faust had a mistake on lap 1, which we didn't see. Pecoy's off!
And then Pecoy was going to peel off and then change his mind last minute.
So Pecoy was going to go Joker. Arpin went. I'm surprised there wasn't more communication from the team there because Pecoy was going to go Joker. Arpin's got a 5-second penalty post-race, so wherever Arpin finishes, he's going to get a 5-second penalty for cutting the course. Now, nobody's going to know that out there, but Bucky, I'm really surprised they didn't Joker those 2 cars on separate laps anyway. And Pecoy, what a job to change direction like that when he was going to go Joker.
That was amazing save by Pecoy, and a bad decision on the side of the spotters for the Enos team.
Yeah, sending them both together is crazy. So the Lowenbro guys send them both together, but there you go. That's unless, of course, don't forget the drivers. Bucky, you must have been in a situation where you choose to Joker yourself because you just think, I need to get out of this.
Well, he probably did choose, but unfortunately he wasn't communicating with his spotter.
Pecoy goes Joker. I think Sandell's gone with him. Sandell's gone Joker. Watch for Atkinson on the inside. So Atkinson looking to steal a podium place here. Going to come round, try and take one position away from his teammate. Contact! Contact between them. Sandell spun around after contact with his teammate at the merge. Atkinson into the side of Sandell. Couldn't see from the dust, but exactly
Atko's
what
got
happened.
damage for sure from that.
So Atco's crawling down the start-finish straight. We're on only 4 laps out of 6, and Scott Speed is miles out in front. Steve Arpin and Travis Pecoy fighting for P2 and P3. We know Arpin's got a 5-second penalty. Bucky, it's all gone off.
It went so bad, so fast for Subaru Motorsports.
Well, they're going to get the win potentially with speed, but they were hoping for more. Atkinson is going incredibly slowly on the back part of the circuit.
Now we have a race in the back between Atco.
No, it's Sandell, sorry. Sandell coming down the hill. Yes, it's Sandell. Yeah, Atco's back with Faust. Here you go.
Atco's battling with Faust right now.
So Atco's gone so far back with the contact he had with his teammate. Look at the front bumper for Faust as well. So Faust had a really slow lap 1, so we know Faust had a problem. We don't know quite what happened. The bumper's gone, Bucky. Look, the whole front bumper's gone. Scott Speed, meanwhile, has got not a speck of dust on the car, not a single mark on it, and has got just a lap to go.
Clean windshield.
Well, Speed absolutely getting the job done here. Coming around onto his last lap. Behind him, the fight continues between the teammates Arpin and Pecoy. Further back than that, a long way further. Here's the battle for P2. So we know, in fact, of course, that Arpin's got a 5-second penalty, but Pecoy and Steve won't know that. So Travis and Steve are going to fight it out, and yet they're going to get reversed. You can see now in the background, you can see Tanner Faust. So Tanner Faust is on his own. So we've got a wheel hanging off. We've got a wheel hanging off Atco's car at the back straight. Atco, there it is. You guys can see it at home now. He's just come past that commentary position. There are sparks flying from that car. Atco trying to drag it round, do the hero thing, and bring the car home. Rear wheel hanging off his car. Scott Speed, though, no such problem. Speed is coming down the final straight. He was hoping to take the TQ, but he had a disaster in turn 1 yesterday. Fought back well today to stick himself on the front row for the final. And from there, he's had an absolutely faultless drive. It's the champion who takes round 1 in 2019. Arpin's going to take P2 from his teammate Pecoy, but Arpin with a 5-second penalty will drop back. Scott Speed is the winner. And we're waiting for the rest of the field to come through. Absolute carnage in the final. There is Atco dragging the car around. It's going to go down. Sandell comes past him. That was where they had contact earlier on. And that's Sandell saying, thank you very much. I'll have that place back. The extra ride on that car means that Sandell's still going around, no problems. All 3 Subarus going to look at the damage on the front of Sandell's car. So it must have been a big hit, and on Atkinson's too.
That hit reminded me of the Andreas and the Hansen hit.
Yeah, earlier this year. It was a big high-speed shunt. They were lucky it wasn't into the door like we saw in Abu Dhabi. The fans are loving it. It's all gone off. Massive cheers from the crowd. I tell you what, Sandell's made it to the finish, and the last corner now is Atkinson. There's Speed, the winner. And Atkinson pops up on the timing screen as having completed the 6 laps. The crowd are going mad because they've seen some carnage racing. Maybe a bit too much carnage, Bucky, but there you go. It's round 1 of 2019. Everyone was looking to lay a marker down, and the biggest marker of all has been laid down by Scott Speed. Crazy stuff.
I believe they gave the crowd what they wanted. Action, 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 and a winning Subaru livery.
Scott Speed takes round 1 of the America's Rallycross Championship. Travis Pecoy is in second after Steve Arpin is given a 5-second penalty for cutting the course at turn 2. Tanner Faust ends up 4th. He was 6th at one point. Sandell and Atkinson are 5th and 6th after having contact at the Joker merge, spinning between the walls to the jump, and then there was damage to the back of Atco's car, and Sandell got the position back. Woo!
Wow. That was awesome.
So you'll have to forgive us for going...
I'm glad you can talk so fast. Jesus.
I mean, like the first... Look at Atco. Look at this. This is from the camera that's up on our commentary position. Atco coming down the straight, and have a look at the rear left corner here, and I think that's from the contact. We're going to have to pick the bones of what happened in that contact, because him and his teammate Sandell came together. Faust had gone backwards. You know, the thing is, when the field gets spread out like that as well, it's hard for us even to keep up with what's going on because our cameras need to follow the lead. So here we go. This is turn 1. Speed pushes Atkinson wide. That's fine.
Watch Faust.
Faust is, Faust is up the inside of Arpin. Here we go. Let's try and pick it apart. Sandell looks
Watch here how
safe.
he gets into Atco. There's Arpin cutting, but look at Faust getting into Atco, just driving through the rear of him. And it's mainly just because of the dirt kind of rotating the car.
I was going to say, had Atco already lost it, you know, in which case then Faust doesn't really have anywhere to go. But I mean, I'll tell you what, the stewards are maybe going to end up having a look at this.
Here we go. Pecoy almost taking the Joker, but his teammate took it, so he decided to go with the normal lap.
The damage was already done there to the front end of Sandell's car. This was Picoy going Joker, right? This is Sandell. This is one of the key moments because this is what's under investigation between contact between Sandell. Sandell outside, Atco inside. In they come. Not going to see it from that angle. Wow. I'll tell you what, if you're a precision driver, you'd have struggled to spin that car through there, Bucky. That car was at 90 degrees to the road between the two walls. Somehow Sandell's car continued with no damage, but no one could get near this man. Scott Speed, clean windshield, no damage on the car, takes the win for round one. Here are the standings then at the end of our first round. Scott Speed on 29 points, just missing 1 point, and that, of course, was because it was Tanner Faust who took the TQ. Faust, with his problems in the semi-final and the final, still doing a good job to haul in 24 points and be P2. Steve Arpin is in P3, then it's Atco, Picoy, Sandell and Bigham. But most importantly, look at the top of that screen. Subaru, Volkswagen, Ford. We've got a fantastic championship fight in prospect for you guys at home. Wow.
All the times are within 5/10 of all the supercars.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's anyone's race.
We've seen kind of genius moments, I think, from loads of people. You know, so we saw Faust nick the TQ from Speed. You know, and both had a pretty clean race. You know, but then we saw Arpin be really quick, but maybe make a couple of little mistakes. Picoy suddenly at the end of the weekend, I looked at the data, I figured it out. I'd love to know what he figured out. We'll try and find out before Gateway for rounds 2 and 3. He was on the pace. You know.
Yeah, nothing visually that I could see. It was something he found.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, Speed's taken the win, and he's the champion, Buck. You know, I guess some people are, well, you know, and a brilliant win, of course. Let's not forget he swapped teams, you know, for Subaru. So he takes the win for Subaru. But, you know, more of the same. Goes from Volkswagen to Subaru, and he's in.
Yeah, apparently he's a very good driver.
Apparently he is.
Apparently he's a very good driver.
It all went off in the final. It was pretty action-packed. I'm sure we'll be taking a look back at more of the footage from it, so stay with us. So Scott Speed moves teams over the winter. Debut win straight away for
Subaru
for Subaru.
Goes to work on input from Scott. Scott doesn't change anything. Drives the way he drives. Gets the car to work for his driving style, and boom, brings Subaru their win. Yeah, didn't work out for the rest of the team, I have to say. And they've had quite a lot of damage this weekend, to be fair. You know, so that Sandell ended up in the tyres day one after a little push. Not his fault. I'm not sure really you could lay the blame again at either driver's door for the merge. I kind of want to see that again. I don't know whether or not we can tee that up, but particularly from the side shot which we saw from when we saw it happen. I mean, how Sandell's car spanned through the gap. Like, if you put a car at 90 degrees in there, it's not much wider than the road, is it, the jump? No, it's not. Those guys had a tight spot to squeeze through. They both had momentum, one coming from the Joker, one from the normal lap. They didn't do anything wrong. No. They just got there at the exact same split second. Yeah, they got to the same spot at the same time, and I don't even think the spotters could do anything about it. So I've just seen on the timing screen, ARX final number 34 and number 55, no action. That's interesting. So that is Tanner Faust and Chris Atkinson. So that was obviously being investigated. Yeah. Parc Ferme, the cars are down there at the podium. Scott Speed, I'm sure, is out the car ready. Arpin and his teammate Picoy parked super close together. I'm sure Arpin would be happy to have both cars on the podium, won't he, at round one? Yeah, Arpin's going to be over the moon. Both cars up there, you know. He put a lot of work in to get these cars here. Yeah, and to have your young teammate as well. Okay, Picoy was hustling him in the final, but still, you'd be pleased with the results. Yeah. I mean, he had the 5-second penalty, which, you know, it definitely affected him. Yeah, 100%. And, you know, okay, he shouldn't have cut the course in turn one. I know the thing is he probably didn't really have anywhere to go. He gained over 5 seconds by cutting that course.
Okay, so he should have stuck to the course.
Yeah, I think he did exactly what he should have done.
Well, okay, so actually probably a 5 second. You're saying 5 second penalty is like massively getting away with it.
Yeah, a little bit.
There you go. Bucky calls it. He is getting away with it slightly, I think. So we've got sunshine here. It's been a fantastic first weekend. We've really enjoyed it. We haven't had any thunderstorms. Yeah, we've got all the racing out of the way. We had a bit of carnage in the final, and we're going to be able to take a look back. So let's have a look back at the merge. This is the merge between Sandell and Atkinson. So on the outside is Sandell.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's that off camber we're talking about on the exit of the normal lap.
Look at this, though. Look at this. He's so lucky not to hit the bridge at all, basically either side. Good job he put that extra ride height on it, because he then rolled back up over the bank on the inside.
And get off of that bank, because he would have been beached.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
But if it was super low. I don't really blame Atco. Like, Atco, he's coming on, he's off camber, Bucky, so the rear of the car wants to go away from him on the gas.
Who was normal lap?
Yeah.
That was Atco.
Atco on normal lap.
Normal lap has an off camber fall away from it, and then the Joker comes in. Where the Joker comes in is naturally where the normal lap takes you.
Yeah. So the car's going to want to go
It's a
sideways.
checkup. It's a checkup, and no one's the check's in the mail. It's
Right, James is with Steve Arpin. He got P2 in the final, but of course he was given a 5 second penalty. So Arpin gets third at Mid-Ohio.
Steve, it must feel good to have two cars from your team. Obviously, Picoy did amazing, but you as well, all on the podium. How does that feel?
It's amazing. You know, this is all due to all of our guys. Like, I got a 5 second penalty because there's a certain VW, I won't say any names, that punted us off the racetrack, and race control doesn't know how to assess a real situation. But that is what it is. The Ineos machine was awesome. CBD on board with us again this year. But how about Travis Picoy? If I'm going to give up a spot on the podium, I'm going to give it up to this kid, because this is the future of Rallycross right here. Everyone at Loneborough Motorsports, that's what they have worked their tails off. And we have literally 10% of the people, 10% of the budget, 10% of everything that those guys in blue are doing. So I couldn't be more proud of these guys, what they've done with just scraps compared to the rest.
Well, congrats, Steve. It must be a great feeling.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Travis?
Steve
Nailed
Arpin
it.
really
Couldn't have
pleased,
said it
isn't he?
better.
No, he's over the moon with the result, isn't he? You can hear, in fact, James calling Travis up for the interview next. Travis takes P2. If he's going to give up a slot, he's going to give it up to his teammate, isn't he? So, you know, great result. Both
Young
cars
gun.
on the podium, and Travis Picoy is with James now.
Travis, I mean, I'm going to let you do the talking, but you must be over the moon right now.
Yeah, it's really an unreal feeling. You know, this is my debut in Supercar, and one more position would have been ideal, but second place still, I don't have the words to describe it. It's awesome. The Loneborough Motorsports guys did a great job. They gave me such a fast car. And before I went and tested only 2 weeks ago, it was my first time driving the car. And I was at the shop with them. They were working till midnight, 1:30 in the morning just to get these things ready to go. So hats off to those guys. But I also couldn't be out here without factory canopies, PPG paints, Justice Brothers, and SC Fuels. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Travis. Congrats, dude.
Travis all smiles. He's really happy with that. It's a great result. P2 for a guy who stepped up from ARX2 to ARX. Great stuff. Right, we're going to take a look at the championship standings. So here's how we stand at the end of round one. Scott Speed almost takes a perfect 30 points. Misses out on the one because Tanner Faust managed to take the TQ. Faust goes P2, 24 points. Then it's Steve Arpin in third place on 22. Three different brands of car in the top three here. Fantastic. I think we're going to have a brilliant championship year. Then it's Atkinson, Picoy, Sandell and Bigham. James has managed to grab the winner. Scott Speed, the America's Rallycross champion, switched teams over the winter and takes a debut win for Subaru. Here he is.
You had quite the weekend, Scott. I'm going to let you do the talking as I did with Travis, but walk us through it a little bit. I know it was tough for you at the beginning, but obviously top spot at the end.
What an incredible weekend. From a track perspective, it's probably one of the most demanding rallycross tracks I've ever driven in my life, purely from the fact that from the first qualifier that we ran to now, the track has changed so much. We've had to change a little bit of setup. Driving style has changed a bunch. In the final, it was such a battle of attrition of avoiding the holes and really being precise. And I just feel like it was such a driver's track in that regard. Like, you really had to be precise in the final to miss the holes. And, I mean, wow, the first win with Subaru. We're going to have the biggest party ever tonight, period.
Thanks, Scott. I hope you keep it in check.
I hope he doesn't keep it in check. I hope it goes wild.
They got my number.
Yeah,
They'll call me.
We want to know where the party is, Subaru. And it better be near us as well. We want the party in where we are. That's where we want to be. We're waiting for the podium. The guys are going to be getting ready to spray some champagne down there, maybe drink some as well, I think. I mean, they will have a party, won't they? Particularly Subaru have been looking for the win for so long, and finally they've got it.
You want to know what Lance Smith looks like right now?
Yeah.
He doesn't even care about those other two on the tow truck. He doesn't care about those.
No, those are fine. Those are surplus to requirement right now.
Those.
There was only one that he needed, and that was the one which is on the top step of the podium. So, yeah, a brilliant result for the team. Hard work over the winter. A lot of money spent. I think it's fair to say that. And I think actually it's fair what Arpin was saying is they don't have anything like the resources that those guys have got.
Yeah, it was good. Like, I follow Arpin on Instagram, and I've seen all the work that he's put into these cars. Literally, like, going to the garage sale and picking up some shafts and stuff, like almost that style.
Yeah, they've really chased it to get the program together. Great to see they've got two of them on the podium. The podium is going to take place down there. You can see a Cooper Tires truck just underneath the tower. That's actually the podium truck, which we used last year as well at COTA. Heading to COTA later this year. We're getting the podium ready to go. Cars are down there. Parc Ferme is a phrase from motorsport, which is for where you put the cars basically when the racing is finished. They go down and get parked up, and so they can inspect them, make sure that everything is legal, or inspect what remains of them. In the case of Sandell, Atkinson and Fowles, there are a few bits missing. Podium time then for round one of the Americas Rallycross Championship. Scott Speed going to step up onto the top step, having taken the win. He swapped teams over the winter, and he has got the job done at the very first attempt. There it is, the trophy. Scott is very happy. Familiar, isn't it, to see him in the middle step, but not so familiar to see him in those overalls,
And
Bucky.
those colors, yeah, those colors. It's been a while since those colors have seen the podium. Top step.
Travis Pecoy, P2, look at what that means to him. And Steve Arpin takes third. So Lowenbro with two cars on the podium at round one. Fantastic result. Of course, they all want to be in that middle step. Photographers asking Scott to pose. Very happy indeed. Great job, Subaru. Great job, Scott Speed. Cooper Tires girl's going to hand over the champagne and then make a run for it. They've everyone on a podium before. And it's a champagne shower for Scott Speed, taking the win at round one of America's Rallycross. Cheers all round for the guys.
He's not old enough to drink, is he?
I like that. That was what Steve was asking, wasn't it? I'm sure he spat it out. Podium selfie. Yes.
He's like, oh, it's on video. He's like, hold on, it's on video.
God, do it again. Sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry. It was brilliant. Hang on a minute. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, sorry. We're just. It's, I know it's on video.
Oh, hold on, do it again.
Got to do it again. Yeah, Scott, not quite get the podium selfie right, but he got everything else right.
He killed it.
Yeah.
Aside from what happened, unfortunately in turn one in that one race, he led every race.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job, but I don't think he's going to have it all his own way. Like last year, I think you would have said after round one, look, the Volkswagens, as they did in the World Championship, have a clear advantage. And I don't think I'm going away from here saying that. I think I'm going away from here saying I think we've got 5 rounds which are going to be pretty close fought.
Mm-hmm.
You agree?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay, Bucky agrees. It's cool.
I agree.
It's been a long day. We're winding down a little bit now, so. Are we waiting on an ARX 2 podium? I'm guessing we are. We're reloading the podium. We're going to get the boys up for that. Fraser McConnell taking the W. Really pleased, I think.
Yeah, he's probably pleased. I saw some excitement in him. The tone changed a little bit in his mellow voice. Here we go. ARX 2.
Cooper Tires girls are back, ready with more champagne. And we're waiting for Fraser to appear. You can hear the local announcer going mad, hyping the crowd up. There he is, Fraser McConnell, taking his first win in Rallycross. Yes. Sage Karam, P2, not looking quite so stoked on P2, is he?
Nah.
He'll take a win if he carries on as he's planning to do the season. I think we'll see him take it. There's Alex Keys. Good result for Keys. Yeah, podium both days. P2 for Karen both days. 2 different winners in 2 rounds. And again, we've got a bunch of people who are on the pace bucket. You know, Cole Keats could have done it if he hadn't had the problem.
Wonder what happened to Keats. Was that contact or was that damage from a pothole?
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Fantastic. Kids bringing out the trophies for the guys. Alex Keys with P3 and a bit of applause from the crowd. Celebration time for the guys from ARX2. Sage Karam, I think, a little bit slow off the mark there with the champagne. Finally gets it done. Nice to see him and Fraser give each other a bit of a champagne spray there as well. Good stuff. Well done, Fraser. First win. That's it. We're done. The racing is finished finally. 2 rounds of ARX2. The first round of ARX. Bucky, thank you very much indeed. Good weekend?
Oh, great weekend. I figured I'd let the fans see my face.
There
I've been
we go.
in the
Yeah,
sun, though. I had to hide that sun. I'm not trying to get any more wrinkles in this face.
You're looking good, dude. You're looking good. Thank you to James Rimmer down in the pits as well. It has been a great weekend. I say we've got 3 different car manufacturers in the top 3. Going to be brilliant to see how this season unfolds. We're headed to Gateway Motorsport Park in Illinois for rounds 2 and 3. There's a doubleheader for both ARX and ARX2. The date for that is July the 13th and 14th, so just 5 weeks' time. So you can get your tickets for that online. Hope we'll see some of you at the venue. If you're looking at this and thinking, wow, I wish I'd come, don't forget we'll be back to Mid-Ohio at the end of the season. We hope you guys have enjoyed the race as much as we have, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.